Iran is on fire, not because of a foreign invasion, but because its own people have had enough. Across cities and provinces, anger is spilling into the streets. Images of Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, are being burned. Women are protesting openly. Slogans against the regime are echoing louder than ever before. And what began as economic frustration is now turning into something far more dangerous. For more than 13 days, Iran has been facing massive protests. What started in early January 2026 as demonstrations against rising prices, unemployment, and a collapsing currency has now become a nationwide anti-regime movement. Iran's currency, the rial, has lost much of its value. Inflation is crushing everyday life. Jobs are disappearing. From Tehran's Grand Bazaar, the unrest has spread to at least 22 provinces, with more than 100 major protests reported. This time, the anger is not hidden. Protesters are directly challenging the supreme leader, a line rarely crossed in Iran's history. The government's response has been swift and brutal. Internet services have been shut down across the country. Independent information is being blocked. Security forces, police, and the Revolutionary Guard have been deployed in large numbers. Tear gas turned into live ammunition. Reports suggest that at least 51 protesters have been killed, including minors. Hundreds more have been injured. Government buildings, banks, and state media offices have been set on fire. Yet Iran's leadership has shown no signs of backing down. In a hardline speech on January 9, Ayatollah Khamenei accused the protesters of serving American interests and warned that the crackdown would continue. But this crisis no longer belongs to Iran alone. The United States has issued strong warnings, saying severe consequences will follow if the violence escalates. Israel has openly supported the protesters, and suddenly, Iran finds itself at the center of a dangerous global standoff. Because Iran is not just another country facing protests, Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical oil routes on Earth. Nearly 30% of the world's oil and a third of global liquefied natural gas passes through this narrow stretch of water. If instability blocks this route, oil prices will skyrocket. Fuel costs will surge worldwide, and global markets will panic. Countries like India, which rely heavily on oil passing through this region, would feel the impact almost immediately. But oil is only part of the danger. Iran supports powerful proxy groups across the Middle East, from Hezbollah in Lebanon to the Houthis in Yemen. A weakened Iranian state could unleash uncontrolled violence across the region, triggering conflicts involving Israel, Saudi Arabia, and U.S. forces. And then there is the nuclear factor. Despite past agreements, Iran's nuclear ambitions remain a major concern. Any attempt to force regime change could push the region toward catastrophic consequences. This is why many experts say Iran will never become another Venezuela. Iran is too large, too strategic, and too dangerous to collapse without global fallout. Yet as Iran burns, much of the world remains silent. Protests elsewhere are celebrated, but in Iran, women risk their lives, people are dying, and voices are being crushed, with little global outrage. So the real question is not whether Iran will survive this crisis. The real question is this: if Iran falls, who controls the chaos that follows? Because one mistake here doesn't just change Iran's future,